Yeah. What? Bring it in. Let's go. Stand up. Walls are crumbling, the world's alive. Elders on the corner with the fire eye. They ain't preaching comfort, they're preaching the way. Repent, turn before the judgment day.
ToRaH Garden, speaking the absolute truth. ToRaH Nation. Shalom, shalom, YASHAR'AL and Yahudah, grafted in Gentiles into the body of Mashiach. Listen, we praise Yahudah for the witness, the RUACH HaKodesh, the water and the blood. It's good to know that you belong to Yahudah. Right? It's good to know that you belong to Yahudah. It's also good to know that you hear what the RUACH HaKodesh is saying, right? That you are able to hear what the RUACH HaKodesh is saying, right? There is nothing that Yahudah will allow to escape you that's for your good in the RUACH HaKodesh if you trust him. Nothing. There is nothing that Yahudah will keep from you. There is nothing that Yahudah will allow to slip away from you. Nothing. Right? Because Yahudah always has the best interest of his people at heart. Right? Now I'm talking about his people. I ain't talking about the world. I'm talking about his people. It's a wonderful thing because, you know, I got two gates out to my property. I got the one that goes out to the back, and I got the one that's to the front of the house, but that one stays chained up and locked, secure. I have my property's completely fenced around, and I have a gate that requires a passcode in order to get in from the back. And in the front, of course, there's no passcode gate because that just stays chained up and locked. But it's a beautiful thing to have to know that your property is completely fenced and secured, and there are parameters that people have to go through in order to get in. But I digress. It's a good thing to know that Yahudah is always working in the best interest of his people. Again, his people. His people, YASHAR'AL and Yahudah, but his people, right, who are born again of the water, the blood, and the RUACH HaKodesh, because, you know, they are truly his people, right? They are truly his people. They are the ones that he goes to bat for. If you ain't his, he ain't going to bat for you like that, right? He's not doing it. If you're rebelling against his ToRaH, you're walking in disobedience, he ain't going to bat for you like that. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you say. If you're serving Baal, he doesn't go to bat for you like that. If you're serving Jesus, he doesn't go to bat for you like that. He does not. Anything that happens as a result of whatever it is that you're releasing in the RUACH has everything to do with the hand of Hasatan moving in the midst of you to keep you rooted in the place that you are. But it has nothing to do with Yahudah. It has nothing to do with who. You know, even as a nation of people, you know, our people thought that we could worship Yahudah and other else. You know, as if Yahudah was going to share his dominion and his power, his righteousness with some other else. It ain't gonna happen. So I bless the name of Yahuah because I know that he has my interest at heart at all times. Because I seek him in righteousness and with a pure heart. You know, I woke up this morning praising Yahuah, walking through the house, thanking Yahudah. Then I made me some coffee, and I sat on the porch, and I praised Yahuah. I opened up my Besorah, I opened up my ToRaH, and I began to read from the Word of Yahudah. And I was able, you know, I read through the whole book of Malachi, and not too long after that, I got onto our prayer call with my Achis. You know, when we chopped it up for about an hour and 15 minutes, right? Just about things that we were praising the Most High for, and what Yahudah was doing, and interceding and praying for one another, that Yahudah would continue to strengthen and keep one another, right? That's what we did. And I bless the Most High for that, right? But because I seek Him and I look to do those things which please Him, He always has my best interest at heart. Right? Let me give you an example. Just today, just a while ago. You know, I left the house because I'm headed into the town that we are outside of, and you know, I went to stop because we don't have garbage pickups in front of our yards, right? We have this area where there are like 8 or 9 dumpsters, and you just take your garbage and put it in a dumpster. You know, it's no big deal to me. I mean, you put it in the garbage, put it in the back of the truck, and take it to the dumpster, dump it. It's right down the road, right down the end of the road. You know, which is good because, you know, now I don't have to worry about wildlife coming in and creeping in my yard trying to turn over a garbage can. You know, they can go jump into the big dumpsters if they can and not get out. But anywho, right? While I was there, you know, actually when I was pulling out of my driveway, you know, I heard a thump, a little thump, right? I'm thinking, man, what's that noise? But you know, I didn't think nothing about it. I just kept pushing forward and headed over to the dumpsters. Right? Once I got out the driveway and made my way down to the dumpster area, and I pulled into the dumpster, and I took the garbage out of the bed of the truck, and I threw it in the dumpster. And you know, when I had done that, I gotta keep my speed. When I had done that, you know, I got back in the truck, and I went to pull out my phone from my side pocket. And I always stick both phones in my side pocket, but in this particular time, I didn't. You know, I pulled out only one that was in my pocket. I'm thinking, where's the other one at? So, you know, I thought, well, maybe when I got out the car, it fell out of my pocket or something, but it didn't, right? So I'm in that dumpster area, and I'm pulling out, and I start to head back to the house, right? And, you know, I'm looking on the road, and then, you know, I pray in the RUACH. I say, you know, where's my phone? He says, it's at your house. Right, because I was going to my house. I'm like, is it in the house? You know, no, it's at the house. And then I saw it in the bed of the truck. Right? Saw it in the bed of the truck. And then, once I pulled back into my driveway, pulled back down to the driveway, and I got out of the car, and I'm like, where's it in the house? He said, it's not in the house. And I look over to the bed of my truck, and it had fell in the bed of my truck. I had inadvertently put it on the side of my truck, you know, the bed of the truck, you know, where, you know, you got that part of the bed, you got the bed, but you got, I don't know what you call it, the rail, I don't know. So it was up there, and I guess when I hit a bump, it fell into the bed of the truck. I said, well, it was in the bed of the truck. He said, where's the bed of the truck? I said, it's at the house. He said, I told you it was at the house. I knew you weren't going to stop until you got to the house. So when you got to the house, it was going to be at the house. right, was going to be at the house. Because, characteristically at that point, when I had decided to double back to the house, I've made the listening to the Ruach HaKodesh, understanding that I was going to the house. Because the house was where I thought and knew that it would be, even though Yahuwah had showed me, right, that it had fell in the back of the bed of the truck. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but I saw it fall in the bed of the truck. Right? I saw it fall in the bed of the truck. Right? And because I saw it fall in the bed of the truck, right, I knew where it was. Right? I saw it fall in the bed of the truck, but it wasn't until I got to the house that I found it in the bed of the truck. It was at the house. Now, some of y'all may think, oh, well, that's a stretch. But not with Yahuwah. Because Yahuwah knows what you're going to do before you do it. I had secured it at the house. That's where it was. I was at the house. The bed of the truck was at the house. He never said that it was going to be in the house. He said it was going to be at the house where I found it. And that's where I found it. At the house. I said all of that to say this. When you trust Yahuwah, right? And when you're in the will of Yahuwah, Yahuwah will lead you by his Ruach HaKodesh. Yahuwah will lead you by his Ruach HaKodesh. Right? He has answers for all of those that belong to him. He has an answer to all of those and for all of those that are his. He doesn't want you worried or fretting over anything. He wants you to look to him for all things. Yeah, right? It was a phone. Yeah, but that phone was important enough for me to drive all the way back home. Yahuwah knew that I was going to go all the way back home. And he knew I was going to go all the way back home. He knew that. He knew that I was going to go all the way back home to retrieve that phone. I was just going to do that. That was just what I was going to do. And the phone was found at home. Again, for some people, they be like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm going to tell you like this. I'd rather trust Yahuwah and his Ruach HaKodesh and know that I want Yahuwah's mercy and I want his grace all of the time. And not just some of the time. Man of Yah called the greatness. Woman of Yahuwah called the greatness, beautifully and wonderfully made. I want the will of Yahuwah 24/7. I want the will of Yahuwah 24/7. I want the favor of Yahuwah 24/7. I want Yahuwah's demonstration of righteousness all the time. I want his favor all the time. I want Yahuwah's blessings all the time. And as men and women of Yahuwah, you should want nothing less. You should want nothing less. Man of Yah, woman of Yahuwah, man of Yah, woman of Yahuwah, called to greatness. Woman of Yahuwah, beautifully and wonderfully made. Today as you has favored you. You have to trust in Yahuwah. You got to trust patiently in Yahuwah. Right? Because Yahuwah has answers. Yahuwah has provision. Yahuwah knows how to watch over and protect all that concerns you. So, man of Yah, woman of Yah, called to greatness again, beautifully and wonderfully made. Today, Yahuwah has favored you. Walk in his favor, receive his grace and his mercy, and allow him to do everything that you need him to do. Even when you think you know what you need to do and you're making an attempt to do it, listen. I'm going to tell you this, trust Yahuwah. Trust Yahuwah, depend on him, and let him do whatever it is he needs to do. Let him bring it to pass. So with that, I say, listen, shalom, 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 and be blessed.
ToRaH Guardian, speaking the absolute truth. ToRaH Nation.
Yeah! What? Bring it in! Let's go! Stand up! Walls are crumbling, the world's alive. Elders on the corner with the fire eye. They ain't preaching comfort, they preaching the way. Repent, turn before the judgment day.